Hello everyone, welcome to Simranreads and a very happy Diwali to all of you, your friends and family. And today we are discussing Geekerella by Ashley Poston. So without any further ado, let's get started. This story is about two main characters, Elle and Darian. And this book has dual perspective of these two characters, which I absolutely love reading, just reading from the point of view of our two main leads, not just one. And it was really exciting. Talking about Elle first, Elle is a fangirl and she loved this series called Starfield, and her father used to love that series too, and he was actually the main founder of the ExcelsiCon. Elle is a blogger and she writes everything related to Starfield, her views, her feelings, everything related to Starfield. Darren Freeman is an actor. He's 18 years old and he has been casted as the main lead role for this series called the Starfield. Elle isn't happy with the casting because she's a fangirl and she thought Darian is one of those famous, hot, sexy guys who loves to show their abs. So she was not at all satisfied with the casting. Darian has to attend the ExcelsiCon for his kind of a promotion for the movie Starfield, and he really didn't want to attend that ExcelsiCon. He wants to cancel that event, and so he contacted the founder of the ExcelsiCon, which was Elle's dad. But after his death, Elle was using his phone because her stepmother was like, no, you don't need your own personal phone, you already have your dad's phone. That's how Darian contacts Elle and they both started talking. I think that is all for my non-spoilery review because this book is so sweet and so beautiful. I think everyone should read this book. So I think that is all for my non-spoileries, because everything apart from this thing is a spoiler. What happens next and what she does and what he does, and so I really don't want to spoil you guys. So yeah, if you haven't read this book, bye bye, and if you have, then let's discuss. So bye bye, non-spoilery people. Talking about Elle first, Elle is a stargunner. Stargunner is a word that is used to describe the people or the fanboy or fangirl or fandom of Starfield. Her dad was the one who introduced Starfield in her life, and since then she is a huge fan of the Starfield series. After her father died, she has to live with her stepmother and two horrible stepsisters. She also worked at the Magic Pumpkin, the one you can see here, and she worked under Sage, and they both haven't talked to each other, though they were workers or co-workers. They haven't talked to each other at all because Elle thought that she isn't a kind of a person who can have friends, who can talk to people easily. She always thought so negative about herself, and this actually changed by the end of the book. And I really love that. I love character development and such character development. Elle's father was the one who started the ExcelsiCon, and after her father's death, she was the one who was using his phone. Darren Freeman contacted her saying that he won't be attending the ExcelsiCon, and then they both don't know that they were talking to each other, which I really loved, which I really love the plot that they don't know that they were talking to each other. And when the announcement for the lead cast was done on television, and she was so unhappy that Darren Freeman was the one who will be doing the lead role for the Starfield movie, she was so unhappy that she wrote a blog post for him. Her blog post got so famous that many people were talking about it, and even Darren read that blog post. So I really liked this concept that they both didn't know that they were talking to each other. Like, Elle didn't know that she was talking to Darren Freeman himself, and Darren didn't know that he was talking to a girl who wrote that blog post. So this was really interesting to to just imagine what would happen when they meet, or what would happen when they confront each other in face to face in person. Talking about Darren now, Darren is an actor and he did a not so serious type of role in one of this series or in this movie, where showing your abs and showing your body makes that movie hit, like, if I'm making sense, that type of movies. So he was doing that, and then suddenly he was casted for the lead role of Starfield. The thing which people didn't know, that he himself was a fanboy of this huge fandom of Starfield, and being a lead actor or being the main role of such a huge fandom movie or such a huge fandom series was tiring, was stressful for him. He wants to do everything perfectly because he was a fanboy himself. He thought that he had to, live up to the expectations of people, and he was stressing himself out. And there was huge burden on his head, and he was only 18 years old. So yeah, and he wanted to do everything perfectly, just as the previous actors did, and he really didn't want to disappoint the entire fandom. Although the when he got selected for the lead role, many people from the fandom was disheartened that he was the one taking the lead role of Carbon Door. They were disappointed, they were unhappy, and he really wanted to live up to the expectations of those people as well. So there was a huge, burden on his head, and because of his promotion of the movie and stuff, he had to attend the XLC Con, which he really didn't want to attend because of two reasons. First one was that when he was a kid, or when he was like a fandom himself and not a famous actor, he used to go to the XLC Con cosplaying his favorite character, Carmendor, obviously, and he and his best friend, Brian, was the one to, visit the XLC Con. He has many memories from that XLC Con, but after his friend betrayed him, he really didn't want to, just go there and live all these memories again. The second reason was that he was actually scared of the fans. Many fans were so disheartened, many fans were so like, they were not accepting him as the lead role, and he was scared of them. Like, what if someone say something to him in public, or something happened with him in public? So he was scared for that too. So because of these two reasons, he really didn't want to attend that XLC Con. So what he did, he contacted the founder of the XLC Con, who was Elle's dad, and then on they started talking, and they weren't even talking on phone, they were only talking through text the entire book. And it was so cute. Whenever I was reading this book, I was like, I want to read more text, I want to read more text about for them. And it was so cute. They both didn't know that they were talking to each other, and they were just talking about the fandom, and they were just talking about Starfield, the episode, discussing even their romantic talks were related to, Starfield. The dialogues from the movies, the names from the movies, they were picking that, and they were talking to each other, and still they didn't know that they both were talking to each other. So it was kind of a mystery, and it was kind of really interesting. Now let's talk about Elle's stepmother and stepsister. The three of them were horrible. Her stepmother was horrible, seriously horrible. She was actually selling her house in front of Elle, and she knew that Elle is so much attached to that home, and she would be, she was so calm and composed for this, and I really don't like her character, her stepmother's character. I really was like, I really don't want to read her character, seriously. I absolutely hate Chloe. She's one of the stepsister, and I absolutely hate her. First thing she did was she stole the dress of Elle's mother, cosplay dress of Amara, and she stole it, and she told Elle that she will be wearing that dress for the cosplay contest so that she can meet Darian Freeman. And she wasn't even a fangirl for that series, and Elle was so devastated for that. The next thing that she did was to, steal her bus tickets and her money and her, tickets for the XLC Con, and she actually destroyed her cosplay dress of her father's, and it was a really horrible scene, seriously. The next thing that she did was Chloe actually humiliated Elle in front of Darian when they were in the ball dance room, where all the fanboys and fangirls of different fandoms were there, and Darian was there, and Chloe actually destroyed her moment. Like, seriously destroyed her moment. I really hate Chloe for that. I really hate her for that. She actually humiliated her, and she was really a freak, seriously. Like the one you get, like attention seeker type of people who wants to do everything for views and who wants to do everything for likes. She was like that. I really hate her character. Talking about Sage now. Sage is a co-worker at the Magic Pumpkin. Elle and Sage haven't talked at all to each other. Elle always thought that Sage was a kind of girl who is very cool with a green hair, and she won't interact with Elle. But finally, when Elle was designing or altering her father's carpenter coat. Sage is a designer, by the way. So when she saw Elle doing alteration to the coat, and Sage told her that she's ruining the dress or the coat, and she can do it, she can fix it for her cosplay. And then from then on, they started talking, and Elle also introduced her to the Starfield, fandom, and they both started watching the entire series again. And every evening, Sage used to prepare her coat or her cosplay dress, and Elle used to just tell her about Starfield. It was something relatable. Like when I love something, like some movie or some book, and I want someone to watch that or just read it, and when they were doing that, and you get this giddy feeling like, oh my god, what they were thinking, oh my god, how they might react. So it was so much relatable. Talking about my favorite scenes now, I have three favorite scenes. The first scene was when Elle entered the XLC Con, and the staff there actually knew her or actually recognized her due to her father, because her father was the founder, and they actually respected her, and people there around there also knew her that she's the daughter of the founder who actually started this XLC Con. Elle was wearing her mother's cosplay dress, Amara dress, and Sage thought that the dress was missing something. So people around her actually recognized Elle, and they were giving their cosplay things, or just pieces, so that she can add it to their costumes. And it was so beautiful, like people recognizing her. And she always thought that she is the kind of person who won't have who cannot have friends, and she was a loner all the time. Seeing people giving their bits and pieces of their cosplay dresses to her, and they were actually saying thank you to her and to her father to introducing the XLC Con, so that they can all, like, the fangirls and fanboys can come here and enjoy their things which they actually love. She actually cosplayed both her father and mother's costume, like she was wearing both Carpenter and Amara. And when she started walking on the ramp, she got that, just feel the confidence that she is both, she is Amara. And that line, that paragraph was so, like, it gave me goosebumps. Reading that paragraph actually gave me goosebumps. It was so beautifully written, the way she was thinking about herself, not in a negative manner, but in a very, very, very positive manner, and with full of confidence and self-esteem. The next scene that I really loved was the ball scene, or the, what do I call it, ball dance scene. Yeah, ball dance scene, where finally, Darian as Darian and Elle as Elle was talking, yet they didn't know each other. They didn't know that they were talking to each other yet. And they started talking, and they were dancing on that ball area, or what do I call it, stage. And it was just so beautiful and so romantic for them, seriously. And when finally things were, going into places, her stepsister, horrible stepsister, Chloe, was the one who actually humiliated her in front of everyone, in front of Darian. Thank God she did that, because of Chloe, Darian finally realized that she's Elle, like the girl he was dancing with is Elle. And when she was about to tell her that he's the one, they were texting and they were talking to each other, like, only then Elle realized that it's past midnight, and she actually ran towards the magic pumpkin car. Darian was behind her, and while running, she just left her glass slipper there on the floor, and she just ran, and just like Cinderella. It was so beautiful. I really like the entire ball dance scene. It was so beautiful and so romantic. And there was a scene when everyone was doing the Starfield salute, and it was amazing. The last scene which I really loved was the last scene only, when Darian finally told Sage, like, he was looking for the magic pumpkin and he found Sage, and he finally told her that he's the one she was talking to, and they both liked each other, and they have like some feelings for each other. And Sage was like, just hop in the truck and we can just go there and tell Elle that you are the one. And Sage actually ran into that gate of where Elle was working, and she has to quit her job and she was working somewhere else. And Sage actually hit that gate, and they were on the ground, and she was driving so fast on the ground. They also played the Starfield theme song, so it might catch the attention of Elle. And finally Darren was was there, and Elle was there, Sage was there, and finally Darian told her that he's the one. It was so beautiful. In that scene only, Chloe was there. Before the scene happens, Chloe was there, and he was all, just boasting about her meeting Darian, and how she is like, oh, I met Darian, he was like this, he was like that, he told me this, he told me that. And when Darian was in front of her and he actually, started talking to Elle, that was a huge bummer for Chloe, and she was actually posting this in front of her friends, and her friends realized that she was actually, bullshitting. So, and they actually filmed the entire video of Darian proposing to Elle. The ending was epic. The ending was epic. I think that is all for my review, spoilery review. I really enjoyed reading this book. I rated this book 5 stars. If you like this video, give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't for more bookish related videos. I will see you in my next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.